2, 1.
Reading odds.
Hi, I'm also here.
All right. Last we left off, Cass was standing in the pit, clear of snow, left behind after the disappearance of the Shepherdsons' old cabin, the one with an extra floor. You would be alone were it not for Tremors, the contracted goat that you found yourself with. You're going to be starting with 5 ruin.
Oh, joy. A whole one down. I don't know why I draw my 5s at like 45-degree angle.
You have a total of 3 flatbreads of rations. A minor haziness in the head that has lifted with the house's disappearance.
Thank God. I can't remember shit. Cass is truly my one character who would get fucked by the cloud.
And you know the directions to the tunnel. Or you could brave the vast whiteness in the valley between.
Well, as far as I know, everyone's dead. But the tunnels have Grandpa sat in them more than this godforsaken wilderness filled with murder squirrels. So, yeah.
You set off in the general direction of what you hope to be the tunnels.
Yep.
Let's roll navigate with advantage due to directions.
Alright, sure.
You do eventually find it, but only after searching for an hour after the sun has dipped toward the horizon. With growing panic, you search through the tree and look for any signs of the same type of caved-in ground you saw around the other tunnels that you went on so long ago, it feels like.
Aha. Going to the tunnels, paying dividends.
In your worry, and with how long it took you to find everything, you do end up eating one of your 3 pieces of pita bread. Or
Alright.
flatbread. Same difference. But you do manage to make it below the earth with water constantly dripping down from snow melt, meeting the warmth of the depths. There is a small stream running to your right that seems to be following the path of decades or centuries of other snow melt that has passed through the same place. There's still plenty of space to walk on, and well, you can only manage about 15 feet before the light, dim as it is from above, fails to show you the path forwards. You do not have a lantern. You do not have a light. It is dark. It is wet, but not freezing.
Some out of looms is what you're saying. Alright. And I got the goat with me, right? He has a name, but Cass doesn't know it.
You have an uneasy alliance, and it has been following you so far.
Excellent. I assume he's been grazing.
Mhm.
As he is heavier than the snow by a substantial amount. Alright. Well, let's fucking go. Into the darkness, hands held out stupidly. Thankfully, no one can see this, and it will be a very heroic tale once I get back. So, yeah, arm is outstretched, keeping the goat behind me so I don't trip on his ass.
Roll me navigate with disadvantage.
Ah, excellent. Holy shit. Partial success.
Nice. What's a more interesting thing? Of course you trip. Of course you fall. This was inevitable.
There's Mark.
Why do you reduce your room?
That's not me. This is Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
There's you can see the spiders. I'm just trying to get some Henderson flash. With one fortune.
Luckily, the fall doesn't hurt you, but what does happen is you get soaked as you splash into the small stream running alongside your wall. You lose one of your pita breads.
No pita.
And being wet might have other carry-on effects. Anyways, beyond that first full-on fall, you become more cautious, and I imagine keep your hand on the left wall to more solidly have a frame of reference. Isn't leverage against if you do stumble.
Yup. As much as I want to have my knife out, Cass isn't stupid enough to wander blindly through the dark holding a knife. I mean, she kind of is, but we'll give her the benefit of the doubt here. Because she did just fall on her face.
Mm-hmm. The air down here is not stable. In your walking, you see a number of spirits that you've seen before and a number that you haven't. There are the gentle, white, mothball-like spirits of silence that evaporate upon your footsteps, tip-tapping down. There are those long, snake-like spirits of the deep and darkness that you can... Well, they're going the same direction you are, with a slight downward slant this tunnel seems to constantly have. Speaking of which, you haven't taken a single step upwards since you ascended in the first place.
Well, I'm sure it'll work itself out. Do these fuckers glow?
They're darker than dark.
Ah.
It's almost like an absence despite.
And kidnapping those puffballs, rather difficult. Any glowy spirits that are a little more... they're not visible things, right?
Yeah, no. Even if you can see them surely because they're not physical. If they were physical, you wouldn't be able to see them at all.
Not really. Well, there'll be no lasting psychological trauma from this, so we keep going.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, a more familiar spirit starts to pop up around you. One somewhat like a drooping branch made of cloud stuff. It is a spirit of sleepiness. But given you know that you're low on food, energy, and you have been unable to track time, unless you would like to make a roll at it.
What would it be?
Recall?
I mean, this won't work. But
Or
I'll...
Intuit.
Hmm?
Or Intuit.
You know what? I'll take into it. That's slightly better. Hey, partial success. Time sure has passed down here.
It's the beginning of a whittling project. You've just barely managed to work out the basic form of what you're going for, and gotten the first few nicks on your fingers, and you are nowhere near done.
Lovely. Alright, well, let's keep going.
This next check with Navigate would be done with double disadvantage because of exhaustion plus darkness.
Can this goat help me?
How do you try to encourage it to help you, and how do you use it?
It's a good question. Let's see. Cats doesn't like animals. This goat probably doesn't like cats. So I think we'll just go with the double disadvantage on this skill I have 2 of. Let's go. It's hypothetically possible that I don't do terribly. Holy shit. Only 1 failure. We got halfway to not. -1.
So you mean your native one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not a full failure, just halfway.
Gain 2 ruin as you trip and fall forwards.
Sure. That is not what you roll.
Did you use the fortune to get rid of the ruin?
No, I'm good. Alright.
Because of how lava tubes are formed, a bunch of the gas from the...
Woo!
Oh, nice. A bunch of the gas from the lava
Now these
escapes. The lava well it cools rapidly in the outer layers, while the inner layers still flow through, leaving it hollow in the end. Because of this, the outer inside of the lava tube is rough and porous. The fall is not good for your knees. You now have a few knee uneven holes in your knees and a tear starting to go down your left leg. Miraculously, you are unharmed.
Alright, well, because you're going to take it away from me anyway, I will eat my last food and then go to sleep.
Alright.
And eat my wet, holy piece of flatbread. I think this is one of the pemmican ones. We're good.
It's nothing like pumpkin.
It's dried meat and fat.
There's no meat in there.
No, it's the salami ones?
Oh, you still have salami ones?
Yeah, those are the ones I took one of the candied ones and 2 of the salami ones, because those are the more hearty fare.
Okay.
And Kals would have eaten the first candy one as her, coping mechanism. Yep. Because we would never eat candy first as grown adults.
Something cracks underfoot.
Oh, real quickly, before I go to sleep.
Uh-huh.
Am I asleep yet? Before I'm doing that, well, actually, yes. Is this crack me being asleep?
Yeah.
Okay. Before I go to sleep, I am Actually, no, wait, never mind. We're fine. I was gonna mark something to know which ways, not just get turned around in my sleep, but the water is flowing downwards. So I just need to follow the water, and water eventually leads to the ocean, which we don't, mountain folk don't believe is real, but eventually, all water ends up in the ocean. That is a certifiable fact.
Matthew, do you know what an underground reservoir is?
No, there's no such thing as an underground lake. That was something you made up for Life Blending. It's not real.
Anyways,
nappy time.
something cracks underfoot. This is new. A old dead sapling that previously was on the cider path is now fallen across it. Give me an agility test or finesse test to leap over it in time.
Full success.
Nice. You stumble a bit, but compensate by pushing down hard, leaping over it. Managing to stabilize and keep pace with the white elk ahead of you. It is nearly 15 feet away. For this stretch of forest, you know there will be no hunters.
Do I still got that piece of wood that I took apart some beds to acquire?
You had it in hand, right?
Yeah.
Then sure.
Alright, I sharpened a piece of wood. I'm gonna throw it at this fucking elk.
How did your craft check go for that?
I didn't make one.
I'm going to ask you to do it now to see if it's evenly weighted, to see whether or not I give disadvantage on this check.
Alright. One craft. Let's go. Hey, partial success.
Nice. I'll make the slay check neutral.
Alright, I'm gonna yeet a thing at this deer. And that is a full success. Sharp stick to the ass.
It wobbles as it sails through the air. Small feathery motes of wind spirits accompanying its wake. And with pain braying, you know you've hit. Your focus is divided between the forest floor and your quarry.
Excellent.
You pass a tree and you find yourself running on a shale slip. Rocks shift underneath your feet, now slick with your prey's blood.
How far ahead of it is it?
10 feet. It moves.
10 feet. I'm not agile enough to just leap 10 feet. I'm not the fucking Hulk.
Down below, you know what? Make me a detect check.
Joy. Cass, not good at perception. And the dice agree. Jack totally.
Okay. I'll pass up on that piece of information now.
Alright.
I mean, down below you can see the valley, as I mentioned previously, with the river, small stream surrounded by mud. You can see mud to a one.
Alright, I'm gonna check my knife. It is spine, neck, whatever.
Roll me slay with disadvantage.
Can invoke sacrificial dagger.
To make it neutral, yes.
Alright, excellent. That is a full success.
Okay.
I'm rolling hot tonight.
Your foot plummets down and starts to slip on the bloodied shale following the successful throw. Soon, in a blink of an eye, The wet blood turns to the softness of mud, and yet again you can hear the hunting horns behind you. Yet again you can feel ferns whipping at your skin as you run next to a small stream in a valley.
How far is the elk?
5 feet.
I'm gonna try to jump on the elk.
Alright. You can see this time the hunters are closing in faster, and they are a mere 15 feet away at this time.
Oh,
This entire thing. Just coming closer to a close. Now, I think this... Do you want to do a navigate jump or a force jump?
oh, absolutely force.
Okay. Then we can do that.
She's her mother's daughter, and still really sad about navigate from session 1. Yeah. That is nothing. Can we invoke menace? For the menace this gear.
No, I don't think you can.
Alright, and I got nothing else.
Okay. You leap, but don't account properly for the ground giving out under you, sucking away your momentum. There's a spray of water behind you as it's dislocated from your foot sinking into the mud, and you end up flat on your face. Soaked, dirty, and overtaken by the other pursuers. The deer is 10 feet away from you, but this time, point with its slowness, it can't resist being speared again by one of the other pursuers. This time, they are holding the spear. It's on the brink of death. Only one more attack, likely to finish it off unless it's lancing. They're taking your hunt. You lay face down in a field of grass. You can hear all around you grass rustling. The other hunters smell the air, following the scent of blood. Some converge on you, bleeding lightly from previous injuries, soaked in the blood of the deer. Others converge on the white elk.
I'm gonna try to take one of their spears.
You turn towards the nearest sound of rustling, hoping it's one of the ones with spears. What approach do you take to this?
You know what? No, I'm not going for spear. They have knives. I'll try to go just pinch one of their knives off of them. They're stronger. I can't physically duke them. So I'll just try to take one of their knives.
Alright. I'll call that smoke.
Alright. I'd like to invoke something stolen.
Yeah. It gives you advantage.
Excellent. Then that is a super success.
3, 4. We really gotta hammer out the terms between 3 and 4.
Crit success and super success.
That feels nonsensical.
And then I just do this when we get more than that.
Okay.
No, it's super success, but you just make the U longer for each. Like 7 is a super success.
Quieter than the rustling of the wind through the grass, you dart by your pursuer and snatch their dagger, them being none the wiser. Their head darts to the side, noticing the sound. It is one of their companions. They grab one of their spears and hunt low, ready for confrontation.
I'm going after the deer. They can go fuck themselves. I don't care about their lives.
Roll me the text to figure out where the deer is in the grass.
Hey, let's go! Full success. I picked the good ones today.
Told you. So, up ahead and slightly to the left, you can hear the quiet braying of the elk. Stag. Whatever. It knows enough as a prey animal to stay quiet when it knows it's pursued, but just as the hunters can, you can smell its blood. You stalk forward through the grass, and just as it comes within sight, you see, staring back at you across from it, a bow-bearing hunter. Their eyes are not human. They're yellowed around the skull wrap. Is that the word?
A what?
The color part of the eye was
Iris.
Iris is. I'm not sure what was in the ear for that.
Yep, iris.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
Yellowed iris and pinched pupils. Although pretty good.
I'm going for my nephew's throat.
Alright. First, you know, actually, let's just make this a neutral slight check. Yes, invoking dagger that counters that disadvantage from facing the more experienced opponent.
Can I invoke menace or troublemaker? I'm
No.
in trouble in this guy. I'm like trying to kill him. Full success.
Your hand flashes out, whipping the dagger across the empty space before he can notch and fling an arrow at you. The dagger strikes home in his lower torso, puncturing some organ or another. He lets out a deep guttural hiss and goes to pull out his dagger. That's missing.
Do I still got his dagger then? How many daggers in my package?
No, it's just kind of gone.
Yep. Vanish into the ether.
He growls again and stalks towards you, one hand holding the knife where it struck him in his torso, the other knife reaching out for you.
Is the deer between us?
It's between you, but he can step over it as it is laying down in the grass, eyes wide and panicked.
Alright, can I try to grab one of the deer's many hands with things on them and shiv him with one of the hunting implements?
Alright.
The guy, not the deer. The deer's low priority right now.
Roll me navigate with disadvantage.
No, that was due. That's a zilch.
That's a zilch.
Am I still doing dream HP? For the purposes of getting knocked out?
No, I think I'm going to use something else.
Okay.
You reach out for the many hands holding weapons on the deer's head. You should have known. With a lash of its head, one of the empty prongs on its rack skewer your wrist, and with a wrenching motion, your heart is pounding as your eyes snap open.
Check if I have my hand.
looking down.
I can't see shit in the dark.
Alright.
Looking down. Oh no, my hand.
Well, I imagine by instinct you would look down
Yeah.
and see. Well, you'd see the outline of your hand, but that would be before you remember that anything you do see is either spiritual or made up.
I'm gonna grab it.
So you go to touch it and feel nothing. Your left hand slowly goes down to feel bark dripping with sticky sap covering the stump where your hand was moments ago.
So I got no hand, not a bark.
Yeah, your stump is healed up, I guess, or
Excellent.
patched up with a sappy bark-like material.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'll bitch to the goat about it. I ain't really got any other recourse.
The goat jumps awake, seemingly startled by your own complaints to it. After a few moments of its own bang complaints at you waking it up, it goes over, snicks, and tries to lick your arm stump.
I suppose it makes sense to go to the underground. It's magical.
Well, more I can smell.
And it's also a ghost.
That's not how this works, but okay.
Well, he can see my ghost hand. Or he can't. I don't know how magic works. Cass doesn't either. Alright, let's keep going. I just lost my hand. That's not ideal. But
To clarify, the quote-unquote ghost outline you saw was just your mind filling the blanks for you. It was not any spiritual byproduct of it.
You got a spiritual contract of hand.
No, you definitely don't have that.
Hey, also we're getting the net limbs back closer to the average limbs in the village below 4. We got that. Limbs McGee is not here yet. We're good. Anyway, what's the most cursed way I can? I want to make a no head joke here, but I can't. So we'll carry on.
All right. So
I'm gonna make sure that I'm going the right way and not just spend my entire day walking the way that I just walked and end up nowhere.
you dip your hand in the water to feel where it's flowing downstream, and the sound of it along with this touch reminds you that you're parched. You'll start you do not get a chance for the day, with disadvantage if you do not drink.
Yeah, fuck it. There's nothing wrong with drinking strange cave water that I can't see, and it's probably... Hey, as long as it's moving, we're good. 10. I only get a little bit of salmonella. Or, no, it's not salmonella. That comes from chicken. Especially old chicken.
It tastes sour?
The water tastes never a good sign.
It's not overwhelming. It's probably not a big deal.
Great. This is Goat been drinking from this water.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got the better immune system, so it'll work out in the end. Worst case, I'll drink his blood.
Okay.
I still got my real knife.
Yeah, you
Excellent.
do. Roll me a nap. Okay.
Do you remember what hand cast? Did you cut one of her palms? I'm trying to figure out which one it would have been. She's right-handed.
Then you hold a knife in the right hand and cut your left palm.
Okay.
And this time, I assume it's your right hand that you lost because you were reaching out with your primary hand to grab something.
Yeah. Well, that's not great for me, but carry on.
All right, roll
I
now.
have to
Check.
imagine she's at least sort of okay with her offhands because she does do, lock picking and stuff that requires dexterity on both hands, but
Not really. One hand just needs to maintain constant pressure with the turn.
great. Anyway, let's carry on.
And also, lock picking just sort of wouldn't be a skill you have. Because people don't have locks in the doors here.
There are people with locks in their house.
There are, but they're not common enough.
Also, I picked a lock in literally the second session.
Really?
Yeah, you remember I mean, it wasn't a real lock, but I did pick the lock to the bear cave. The door was locked.
That was you jamming open.
Yep, lock picking.
Matthew. That's besides the point. Let's just continue on. Roll navigate.
Oh, am I dry yet?
No.
Great. Critical success.
Oh, nice. You make good time this day. You're not entirely
This
sure.
amount of sleep since the last time I continued.
Eventually, the tunnel does start to level out, and near the end of this stretch of time, you take a step, and the ground is higher than it was a moment before.
Holy shit. We're doing it. We're doing it, goat.
You pause after taking that step, and notice it echoes strangely compared to how all of the other steps have echoed before. You feel air on your face, and hear the stream on both your right and left, and in front of you.
That's not good. I don't know, I'll stick my foot in it, see what's going on.
It's as shallow as ever. It goes off to your left.
I'm gonna try to determine if there's a fork or anything going on, or if there's no tunnel.
Alright. Roll me detect.
Is there rocks on the ground?
Not really.
Okay. I'm throwing my clothing over. I wouldn't hear an echo. You hear a wet slap.
Oh. Yeah, you're also not really used to reading echoes.
Well, I know, but I can throw it at a wall. See how long it goes if it hits a wall. And just do that in semicircle. See if there's any holes. Alright, detect with disadvantage, you said?
No, with advantage.
Oh, advantage, okay. I just heard advantage. Alright, that is a full success with you.
You were right. It was a fork. Off to your left, the tunnel goes deeper, and to your right, it ascends. It's more forward than right. To your and forward, it ascends, and there's some fresh air coming down it. To your left, it goes deeper, and the stream follows. You can see the various spirits of darkness trailing down towards the leftwards path, coming from both directions in the tunnel. As one of them passes, larger, almost the size of a proper anaconda, its tail briefly feels tangible as it wraps you around your wrist, your remaining one, and gently pulls you down towards the deeper tunnel before becoming intangible again.
Okay, real quickly. How many tunnels we got? Just two? This is a terrible marker. Holy shit. Alright, we're coming this way. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So how many passages are there? Just the two?
Yep. Yep. Left is deeper and the stream crosses down. Get there. Right is up.
Well, I don't like these creepy ass snakes. So, because they're animals, and I don't like animals. So we're gonna go up. And also, you know, I'd like to be home before I die.
All
I
right.
want to make sure the goat comes with.
You start to feel tired again. This time, accompanying your drowsiness, you notice there appears to be growing out of your skin small white cloud-like trees. Some more advanced form of the spirits of sleep that you're not quite sure about.
Oh, good. It's a spirit. I'm not just becoming a fungus. Alright. Well, let's keep going. I'm terrible at that, actually, but, you know.
Roll me navigate with disadvantage.
Oh, joy. Nothing. So, 1 negative.
Your toe. No, here's your words. So, the toe of your shoe hits the first rock you found so far hard, causing you to careen forwards, landing amongst the rubble. Now, I would like you to make a decision here. Minimize harm to yourself, or minimize the noise you make.
Noise.
Alright. You gain 1 ruin.
Seems like minimize those. Alright. Alright. Still technically a dieable amount of ruin. Alright, 3 damage.
Only 2 damage. I'm gonna steal one of those for
Sounds great.
assertion.
Love to hear it.
Hidden progress track.
1.
Matthew, shut.
Look at your DM screen now. I can see all of your things. Your empty bag of Sour Patch Kids.
There's 1 Sour Patch Kid left.
What color?
I have no clue. I think it might be green. No, it's blue.
No, I'll take that.
No.
Alright.
Alright. The rocks pile up ahead of you, and with a moment of dread, you worry that there was a cave-in and this tunnel is entirely sealed off ahead of you. What do you do next? Your eyelids are drooping, but the difference between them being closed and open is so minute. You can spend minutes, hours at a time with them closed, but hardly noticing the difference.
Great. I'm gonna try to climb, not stand, but like crawl up the rocks, see if I hit something on top, or if I can squeeze through.
Roll me navigate with double disadvantage.
Joy. That is double successes, so plus the so nothing.
You manage to get about halfway up the pile before you gain 1 ruin. I'll just give you 1. I'm going to ask again before I interpret these roll results. Are you mitigating sound or hurt to yourself?
At this point, I'm going to do hurt.
Okay, go ahead.
That is 3 damage, which is lethal.
I'm going to take 2 of those away from you.
Excellent. Sounds good. Do I have access to the Pyre?
You know what, right now I'm going to say no.
Okay. Just in general.
I mean, you can... If you do feel inclined to use it, I'm willing to make devil's bargains. We are interacting with them at the moment.
Sounds great.
You lay there on the rocks, and with the pain and the darkness and the cold and the hunger and the exhaustion, you find it hard to get the will to move, much less get up. Roll me an endure check with disadvantage.
Not great. Nothing. Still flat 0. I got a success, which canceled disadvantage.
Okay.
We also really need to get words for failing.
Just honestly, there's no difference between 0 successes and less than that. Just say fail.
Okay.
That's like your original intentions. Whatever. Quietly, softly, alone, considering the goats didn't even start to try to climb up behind you. You cry yourself to sleep. It's likely the first time you've cried in a few years now.
Yep, Cass is a big girl. Big girls don't cry. And her only emotional modeling is Rebecca, who has not felt a genuine emotion for more than 10 minutes in her life.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Also, I lost my hand this morning, so we're not doing great emotionally speaking.
Yeah, it's probably part of why you hurt yourself so falling down. You, on instinct, try to catch yourself with your hand and found nothing there to support you.
I mean, I still got an arm. How far is this amputation on a scale of wrist to?
Oh, it's mostly here.
Oh, that's not bad.
Like, yeah.
Talk to Marrow, get a pirate hook.
A branch breaks underfoot. You leap over a fallen tree and find yourself in the same dusk-filled forest from all the other nights. Unlike some of the previous hunts, where gray cloud cover and the dour what's the word for that? Canopy, there we go. Soaked up all light before it could reach you. The low sun cuts the forest with angled beams of light. The stag was white. The stag was pink. The stag is red. It lays in a small clearing it's made for itself. Dagger, spear, both whittled and more professionally made, sticking from its body. Your hand lies amongst its rack. Within it, gripped, is your familiar knife.
So I don't have it on me.
No. One, after escaping the random chance encounter with the bear.
I think you mean killing a bear.
Nah, something like that. It stares defiantly back at you. You can see all the various hands shift slightly, affirming their grip on their various weapons. In the very far distance, you can hear a hunting horn.
Do I know the sack flame ritual?
I would assume with your hyped interest lately and seeing it being demonstrated hype.
No. Cass has truly not done anything for like this entire season until she left.
Would you have not even known this?
I mean, that's kind of what I'm asking. She didn't learn if it's any practical applications towards undead, but she was raised here.
Yeah, and Rebecca's an outdoorsman. Would she follow those basic traditions?
Rebecca would not, but Cass is only so raised by her family.
Okay.
Especially compared to the other kids. She needs...
I'm just going to say, I'm not going to make a rule. I think it makes sense for you to know it. It's a pretty basic one.
Yeah.
When you learn to forage and hunt in this area, you know it.
Yeah. Alright. I'm going to whisper as I walk up to his head.
After each verse, there is a quiet noise, an exhale of air from the stag. Each one utterly animal in nature, but still very familiar to you. It is refusal of your authority. It will fight until it is dead. Its eyes make its response crystal clear. If you claim me as yours, you will have to take me.
I'm going to come at him from his front. Low to the ground. Not quick. And I'm gonna... Well, I'll see how close I can get.
When roughly 5 feet away, you have to take a half step back to avoid the swing of its head. A snapped in half spear swinging out dangerously at you. A mere 6 inches away.
I'm gonna get on my knees and hold his head. Just kind of give him a pet. Not a threatening motion. Moving slow.
Roll me sway with disadvantage. It knows you have caused it harm. It knows it's ran from you these past few nights.
I have a one-time ace in the hole for social interaction. I don't want to know if I want to use it here. No, this is important enough. I've heard this deer. Or elk, whatever the fuck it is.
I've switched words around plenty.
Yeah.
And it's because of the dream needness of this
It's
scenario.
certainly not a moose.
That's true. It's not a moose.
I'd be dead.
All other kinds of
yeah.
antlered prey, though.
Moose are not prey. They're predators. Nothing eats them.
Orcas.
Yes, that's it. Maybe a motivated polar bear. Anyway. So, I recognize I don't really... He doesn't like me, but I don't really have a chance to change that. I shouldn't have a chance.
Something I shouldn't have. Matthew, that's a stretch. It's clever, but it's a fucking stretch. I will let you have it, not in this situation though. Unless you can rephrase it in more specific terms.
I'm dying and alone, so is this deer. And it'll be nicer to die together.
And to be clear about asking to see a sway roll, do you intend for the touch to be kind, or do you intend betrayal?
She's not going to betray the deer. She's dying alone in the cave, and this deer's dying alone in the tree.
Okay. What's your sway?
Tree.
Okay. I'll give you the roll as neutral there.
Alright. Partial success.
Okay. That's a way of doing this. I think that works. You gently extend your remaining hand. And in a move that's entirely unlike an animal prey, it locks eyes with you. You notice that its eyes are entirely unlike each other. One eye is wide open and stares at the world with fear. It shifts, pupil going from rectangular to more circular, and passing through many different shades of black, brown, and green, sometimes dipping into gray. The other eye is often slitted, that of a snake, a mountain cat, a wolf, a hawk. It stares at you, piercing, searching for weakness. Its head bows a few degrees, letting you place your hand upon its stomach. Your energy gives out after a certain point. You don't know how long you stays like that, but soon you find yourself laying against its body.
I'm just going to wait for the hunters.
The hunter's horn blares in the distance, then again and again, closer and closer, until eventually you see the first one of them. Bow drawn back, arrow notched. It drifts an aim between you and the stag.
Can I try to retrieve my knife?
Sure. You go to retrieve your knife in your hand, still impaled in this barbed antlers. Lets go of it, letting you grip it in your left hand. The stag does not get up. It stares defiantly at the archer, bow pulled back.
I'm gonna throw my knife in his fucking skull.
All right. Your arm whips back to throw the knife, and as you do, you take in this archer's visage. Their skin is pale and unmarred, and the furs they wear are entirely black. Unlike any animals that live around this area, this is a brown bear or black bear.
I think it was a special third tip bear you made up.
Okay, that sounds about right.
I think it was a gray bear or some bullshit.
Yeah, that checks out. Well, anyways, unlike any animal that lives around these parts,
Fucking colonizers.
make me a slay check. Neutral.
Counting my dagger.
Yes.
Ready. Partial success.
I think that lines up quite nicely. The dagger sails. The arrow travels faster. The arrow hits first. It pierces your chest, unlike a small flint arrow that it is, and more like a bolt out of a ballista. Your body falls back, and the arrow continues onwards, striking home through the stag's heart as well. Your cries are as in unison. The dagger sails out, and finds purchase of its own. This figure that you stare at takes a long moment to look at you, seemingly uncaring for the dagger sticking to his chest. You yourself are beyond pain. Your brain oddly drifts to the sensation of your blood mixing with the lifeblood of the elves. The man in black skins takes the clasp of his fur cloak and undoes it, letting it fall away, and with it falls away his visage. In his place stands many things. It is a woman dressed in white, garbed in frost. It is a farmer in naught but bone, holding an old rusty scythe. It is a raven staring at you with a bag of coins in its talons. It is a beggar with a rictus, yellow-toothed smile on his face. It is the moon over the sun. It is death.
Which one, though?
And then it is gone. As are you.
Can I make a roll to flip him off first?
You don't have to roll for that.
As my dying action.
Oh, and no, you're not dead.
Oh, good.
Yep, I think things lined up nicely enough. Okay, and now I think actually it would be a good time to have a bit of a meta discussion, but the most interesting way to do this. So I have a few ideas that I want to run by you.
Mm-hmm.
My original plan was for upon finally killing the elk, you would wake up to find its dead body in front of you in the cave, letting you have some sustenance to get to the end, and along with the contract granted. But I did not anticipate that kind of ending to this. So I think there's some more options. Another alternative I had in mind that sprang up more recently was that I could have basically the elk be, you know how I mentioned spirits of the land can create quote-unquote avatars,
Yep.
aspects of themselves that are bound to physical reality, to act in more tangible, small-scale terms. I was thinking this elk could be an avatar of Grandfather Sap that's effectively tasked with managing your contract and acts as more familiar for you. Basically, your first contract ability, basically just being able to call it forth.
First contract ability, make it Pokemon.
Um,
My elk versus your possum. Let's go.
and there would be two different interpretations of that. It would either be a more climactic thing or a more passive thing where it just acts in place of you having hands. In some version of that mode, I would have Stylus with both your hands taken and you just acting through the hands on the antlers.
I don't know. That's not very Cass.
Yeah. I think no matter what happens, there is going to be some bond there. Another alternative is with the mixing of the blood in the end. Have you partially be have some more like physical transformation as your first thing. Some kind of like spirit of the hunt thing, passively taking you up. That would give you more passive things that would advance over time.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, this is, I think, going to be a modified contract of blood.
Yeah. Makes sense. Cass's primary goal, which will be elevated when she gets back to town, is so right now she's searching for her mother because she doesn't want to be alone. When she gets back, her mother, for a variety of reasons, but mostly the fact that she doesn't have a way to deal with any part of this situation, is going to just kind of shrug her off because, I mean, she cares, but her capacity to care is fairly limited.
Mhm.
Even with her becoming more of a person. And then Cass is just trying to find something to attach herself to.
So you want to play into the loneliness aspect?
Yeah.
At the moment when, I guess it does check out with the environment you're in.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I'm gonna.
You were utterly alone before you fell asleep, but you're like pretty much the lowest point.
Yeah.
And then you chose to go for companionship instead of pure claiming.
Yeah. On top of that, Cass is maybe not going to level this session, but leveling in a session or two, and I'm going to do something about either because it's her neck because she's going to be getting a main role next time, which is either I'm toying between a couple concepts, but the main one there's kind of two. something towards never alone, and something towards as an aspirational main goal, and or something towards not being forgotten
Okay.
as like a become a legend type thing.
So,
Although I feel
there
like
is a bit of a thing I'm gonna mention. With the you remember Water Lily's reindeer
Mhm.
having physical form.
Yeah.
Because you're contracted to a spirit of land, you have certain benefits from being contracted with the spirit so strong. Most people simply manifesting their spirit is like a cool party trick. Sometimes they can communicate with someone, ask it questions. You manifesting your spirit has presence,
which will be helpful. Going forward.
and we've already established that its physical form.
Is a spooky ass elk who still has my hand. That bitch.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it does.
Cass doesn't really hold that much against it. I feel like the first option is more
Which one?
of the two I mentioned.
The Never Alone one?
Yeah, that's probably because like had she killed the deer, I think she would have gone more to like a
Slayer of Legends.
Kind of. Like cause it also would be kind of cute to have another history theme. She's just writing it, which puts her more in direct opposition of her grandfather. But I don't think they're that opposed. I mean, they are because of what he's done in general, but like, she's not innately. She doesn't innately hate him. So I feel like Cass, and I've also in the past made mention that Cass doesn't really get along with the other kids as well.
But she tries to on occasion.
She tries, but yeah, she's not great at it. And
okay. So for first contract ability, the power dynamic is so skewed that in reality you don't really get a choice in what it is.
Yeah.
And given the conclusion, I think this is kind of esoteric. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't be that. Because the thought that just passed through my head was, oh, be able to like wear an animal's skin to temporarily transform into it. But that is kind of in contrast to what you're doing.
Yeah.
So what if I just gave you a basic talk to animals thing?
That is kind of funny. Cass does hate animals. Which honestly tracks.
And with the main starting advantage being able to have an actual physical spirit.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
With the direction you're planning on going and everything. Talk to animals doesn't feel quite up the grandfather's house, so I feel like it'd be a bit different from that.
Yeah, that is a very Snow White.
Well, I mean, it's somewhat within his domain, just not.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's kind of tangential.
Oh. How about simply just a call to hunt? Basically, you designate a target, and nearby animals join you in the hunt. Any sentient creatures can choose to follow or deny it, but basically just gives everyone an advantage in attacking a target if you're choosing for a brief period of time. That compels things to do it for you.
And that's pretty good. And it's more along the lines of the bond of the hunt.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Well, we can hash that up mechanically.
Hunting horn? Yeah.
No, just what? Let's see.
It's pretty powerful, honestly.
Yeah.
As I described it.
Yeah.
I'll give it cost 6. 5 feels more right. It's not quite in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Oh. You know what? Actually, let's make this more interesting. I'll give it a downside, and bring cost all the way down to 4.
Exciting.
Basically, you call a hunt on a target, and all who hear the hunt can either, join in or not. Non-sentient creatures are more likely to join in, and the attack of like all the small critters in your surrounding, gives everyone who's attacking the target advantage or additional thing of advantage.
Yeah.
But if they manage to escape you, and so as that you don't know where they are anymore and no longer have their trail, you become the target of the hunt.
Oh lord. Alright, that's good. And then I'll print out and get a contract sheet rolled up after that.
Yeah, the one, blood is the first thing I thought would make sense.
I mean, that kind of tracks.
But blood requires the consent of the thing that's giving you the blood, which is kind of like, I made it more to a vampire contract than a slaughter contract.
That's fair.
But that feels a bit wrong for what you are right now. So what about we go for hunger instead?
Which one's that? I mean, that tracks you starve to death. Let me look it up. Just because I never looked at it, actually.
I'm unsure if I posted it or not.
I think you did, but let's poke it while we're here. No, Pyre resources. Pressure, yeah, ravening.
Ravening. Ooh, I gotta use a fancy word.
Fire of hunger, start with none. We're rolling for parting's cost. Gain hunger equal to the failures recovered. You can eat low on living flesh, lose hunger equal to your meal's remaining resources.
Yeah, basically have to eat contracted things.
Okay. Alright, that stacks. And then 5 hunger, gain another, and then, yep. Then I eat some other motherfucker. The downside isn't terrible. It's technically survivable. So that tracks. It's kind of a harder resource to gain, sort of, but at the same time, I can probably activate it once or twice, and the consequences aren't instant death, so it works out in the end.
Yeah, it's not one of those contracts where you actually have to worry about it passively over time degrading. You have to actively engage with it and lose the resource.
Yeah, so it's just kind of there, which it does not have to be recently killed. So
And it's also an active thing, like you have to actively engage with it to cover it as well.
Yeah. Okay, that tracks.
That's also the contract Wilhelmina has.
Yep. You done? Because we still got to get back to town. Unless I fucking teleport there.
Honestly, I feel like you're gonna wake up with the feeling of like a stout in your hand, and it's gonna like help you get to your feet. You're gonna like hold on to its antler. It's gonna help you over this partial cave in, and then there is a gap between the ceiling and this, and it gets to the other side. Eventually, you poke the goat along, and then from there, it's actually not that hard, especially with something supporting you and helping you along.
Yeah.
I don't feel a necessity to have this be any more strifeful.
Alright, we make it to the end. Sounds great.
So, how much XP do you have in your rolls right now?
7, or I'm 3 away from finishing.
Okay, you know what? I think for fun, I'm gonna give you 1 XP for this half section.
Alright.
Narwhal, we're done.
Bye, Obs.
Alright. Guys have fun. Yeah, bye-bye.